Hello, I'm Jo and I'm a brain tumour survivor of about 12 years. My tumour was described to me by the consultant that carried out my biopsy as being on a small but a critical part of my brain and was inoperable. I'd been feeling tired for no known reason for 2 or 3 months and had a constant headache, but I just put it down to stress at work. Then apparently I slept the whole of a bank holiday weekend, waking up long enough to eat something, then falling asleep again. My husband got very concerned as a cup of tea kept going cold, and that was very unlike me. I did go to A&E on the Wednesday following the bank holiday, but just got fobbed off. The Thursday, I managed to lock myself out of the house without my phone or car keys, so just sat on the patio and fell asleep. The Friday, hubby took me to the doctors and they'd done some simple tests with me, but I really can't remember anything about that. I can't remember about 3 weeks of my memory during that time, except small snippets. My doctor then arranged a bed for me at the local hospital where an MRI was conducted and a mass was found on my brain. And they consulted with another hospital as to what treatment was best for me, and I was given steroids. So on the Tuesday following, I was transferred to James Cook Hospital in Middlesbrough. But they were unable at that time to do anything for me because I'm on warfarin, and I couldn't remember whether I'd taken the warfarin or not. So I was sent home for about 2 weeks where I had to have constant heparin injections. But they'd sent me home in a taxi, and I really didn't know where I was going. It was from Middlesbrough to Towlaw, and I didn't know where I was going. I think we went round in a circle, I've no idea. But eventually I got home. After about 2 or 3 weeks, I then returned to the hospital to have a biopsy done. But the one thing that I can't get over is the doctors coming round and asking me to sign things. I really didn't have a clue as to what the hell I was signing, and hubby wasn't there to advise me and everything because he was at work, and it was not during visiting hours. It was always for like in the mornings and things like that. The biopsy turned out to be inconclusive because the steroids interfered with the biopsy, and given that, they thought possibly a non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So I was put on a watch and wait for about 5 years. So after 5 years, nothing happened, and I really feel like I fell through the cracks because they couldn't put a tick in the box, and I had no real support apart from my husband and my sister. I had to find out what was available myself, which really wasn't that much at the time, and I struggled for several years to find something to do. As I'd lost my job because of the brain tumour, I started to volunteer, and then I slowly regained some of the confidence. After I was diagnosed, I had to learn to come to terms with the loss of memory, the brain damage that had been done, the fatigue, and the fact that I can often see the word and I can see it in a sentence and then will stumble over it because brain will not engage with mouth. Or sometimes it's just like looking at a sentence and some of the words are blacked out, and I just cannot think of what I'm trying to say, and I'll lose myself in a long conversation. I'll forget what I was saying and things like that. I did cry a lot, obviously, when for the first couple of years, the slightest thing would start me off. You know, my emotions were all over the place, literally all over the place. But since sort of like after a couple of years, I now find it very, very difficult to cry. I might well up, but I cannot cry. But the other thing is, like, I feel kind of like I've flatlined on my emotions. I can't get excited about anything, and I can't get really depressed about anything. I then met somebody about 4 years ago who is a brain tumour survivor themselves, and through them and our sort of like friendship, when I used to meet her for coffee and things like that, she then told me about the 3 tumours. And so like last year I went along to the 3 tumours up in Newcastle, and I've become involved with them ever since. And the charity is so good, because you just wish it had been about when I was first diagnosed. That's one of the good things that have come out of it. There is a charity now whereby it can offer the support to people who are not only diagnosed, but to the families as well.